Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back. If you watched part 1, you already know rules 1 to 10. If you have not, go watch that first. The link is in the description. Today we are going to finish the topic with rules 11 to 20. Some of today's rules are a bit more advanced, like rules about before and after, wish and fancy, and some tricky connector words. But do not worry, I will explain everything step by step with simple examples. Now, moving on to the rule number 11, past indefinite past time signal words. What did it say? When a sentence contains words or phrases pointing to a definite past time, such as yesterday, ago, long ago, since, long since, last night, last week, last month, last year, the verb takes its past form, V2. In this rule, just like Rule 3 and 7 gave us signal words for present tense, Rule 11 gives us signal words for past indefinite. These words clearly point to a finished time in the past. When you see them, use V2, the simple past form of the verb. The formula for this case is past signal word plus V2, simple past form. The examples are, Alaya learned the lesson yesterday. The answer will be, before giving the answer, I will remind you to pause the video and write your own answer in the comment section, and again match those answers with mine. Now, the answer for the first examples are learned or learned. Both are correct because learned is a British format and learned is an American format. The second one is Pyle visited the zoo last week, and the answer is visited. Now again, try to circle around the signal words such as yesterday, last week. It will help you in exams. Rule number 12. Well, be attentive to number 12 because it's very important. Wish, fancy, it is time, past indefinite. After expressions like it is time, it is high time, fancy, wish, the verb in the following clause takes past indefinite form, V2, even though the meaning refers to the present or future. This is very interesting rule. In English, when we say it is time or I wish, we actually use a past tense verb to talk about something we want now. This is called subjunctive mood, but for class 6 to 8, just remember after it is time, it is high time, wish or fancy, use V2, past indefinite. The formula for this case is wish, fancy, it is time, it is high time, past form. The examples for rule number 12 are I wish I draw a picture. I wish I draw a picture. The answer will be view. The next one is it is high time. It is high time we change our decision. The answer is changed. Moving on to the rule number 13. Since connecting two clauses. When since connects two clauses, the tense combination follows a pattern. Based on what comes before since, three patterns exist. A. Present indefinite plus since plus past indefinite. B. Present perfect plus since plus past indefinite. C. Past indefinite since plus past perfect. In this rule, it is about the word since. When it joins two parts of a sentence, the tricky thing is the tense on each side of since changes depending on what the first part of the sentence is. Let me break it into three patterns. Now, for pattern A, the example for pattern A is, it is many days since I go to Kumilla. The answer will be went. For pattern B, present perfect plus since plus past indefinite. The example is many days have passed since I go to Kumilla. The answer is went again. For pattern C, past indefinite plus since plus past perfect. The example, it was many days since I go to Kumilla. The answer is had gone. The previous two patterns are for past indefinite at the last and the present indefinite at the first. It is many days since. It is many. Is present indefinite, and the second part of the sentence, I go to Kumilla, becomes past indefinite. For the second example, many days have passed. Have passed is present perfect tense. The last part is since I went to Kumilla. I went to Kumilla. For the third and the tricky part, it was many days since. It was many since. So the first part of the sentence is in past indefinite. Hence, the last part of the sentence will become past perfect. Had gone. If you have any doubt, please write down your doubts in comment section. Now, moving on to the rule number 14. As if, as though, even if, unreal comparisons. When two clauses are joined by as if, as though, or even if, expressing an unreal or imaginary situation. Like A, if the first clause is present indefinite, the second clause uses past indefinite. B, if the first clause is past indefinite, the second uses past perfect. In both cases, if the subject is followed by be or to be, use where regardless of the number. Now, it is the advanced rule. This rule involves the subjunctive mode. For class 6 to 8, focus on the two patterns and the where rule. Skip technical grammar term. Just say these are imaginary sentences. Rule number 14, this is for sentence where someone is pretending or imagining something, as if and as though mean the same thing. They introduce an unreal comparison. Here is the key used where in instead of was. Match the sentence pattern, tense pattern. Formula 1, present indefinite as if, past indefinite. Formula 2, past indefinite as though, past perfect. Formula 3, as if, subject plus where, not was, always were. For formula 3, remember, as if is used for imaginary sentence. The first examples, he talks as if know everything. He talks as if know everything. The answer will be knew. The second one, the first example follows the formula number 1. Present indefinite. He talks. He talks is in present indefinite as if, and the second part of the sentence will become past indefinite. The second one, he talked as though. The formula second. Second formula says past indefinite. He talked. It's in past indefinite. As though he, past perfect. He had known everything. Had known. Third one, the tricky one. He spoke as though. Now, he spoke. It's as though he were a leader. As though or as if means the same thing. I'll just add it inside the third formula. As though. as if, as though, plus subject plus were, not was, always were. He spoke as though he was a leader or were a leader. The answer is were. He spoke as though he were a leader. It means he isn't a leader or he wasn't a leader yesterday. Rather, he thought himself he was a leader. He spoke as though he were a leader. So it's the imaginary sentence. In imaginary sentence, after the word as though, we use were, not was. Moving on to the rule number 15. Reported speech that clause tense shifts. Rule number 15. When that joins two clauses and the first clause before that is in past indefinite, the verb in the second clause after that shifts to past perfect. Exception. If the second clause referred to a future event, next day, next week, next month, etc., the verb before it takes would plus base form. I know you guys are confused, but I'm going to explain it. In this particular rule, this is about reported speech. When you tell someone what another person said, the main rule is if the reporting verb, the verb before that is in past tense, the verb after that must shift one step further into the past. Present becomes past. Past becomes past perfect. The formula is past indefinite plus that past perfect. The example are for the first formula is he said that he play cricket. He said is in the past indefinite. He play. That he play cricket. The answer will be in past perfect. Had played. The second formula, if the sentence starts with past plus that, would plus V1 when the future time word present. The examples are he said it's in past. He buy a book the next week. The next week is the future signal word. The next week is the future signal word. It means the formula second will be used. He said that he would buy a book the next week. Would buy. The second example, he said that. It's in the past. The sun rise in the east. It's in the east. The answer will be rises. Why? Because in the east, the sun rises in the east is the second rule of the whole right form of verbs, where we learned that universal truth are always in present indefinite tense. Rises. So remember that even if the sentence starts with a past context, but the whole sentence depicts a universal truth or habit, the main verb becomes in present indefinite tense, according to the second rule. Moving on to the rule number 16. 16. Before past perfect, before past indefinite. In sentences using before to join two clauses, the action that happened first takes past perfect. The action that happened second takes past indefinite. Now, rule number 16, the word before when two past actions are described and one happened before the other. English marks the earlier action with past perfect. Think of it as a timeline. The farther back in time, the more past the verb gets. Again, the farther the further back in time, the more past the verb gets. The formula in this case are earlier action, past perfect, plus before, plus later action, past indefinite. It means in a sentence, the first part of the verb will remain past perfect, Polly reach. The second part of the sentence will become past indefinite. The exam begin. So in the next example, Polly reached, it will become past perfect, had reached. And the second answer will be the exam began. Did you understand the rule number 16? I again remind you. Earlier action becomes past perfect. Earlier action in this sentence, the earlier action is Polly had reached. After the use of before, the later action becomes past indefinite, began. Moving on to the rule number 17. After past indefinite, after plus past perfect. Now, in sentences using after, the action in the first clause or happened later, so it takes past indefinite. The action in the second clause after, the word after, happened earlier, so it takes past perfect. In this rule, it is actually the mirror rule of 16. Now, with after, the logic is exactly the same. The earlier action is past perfect, the later action becomes past indefinite. The difference is just where before or after sits in the sentence. The formula in this case is later action, past indefinite, after, earlier action, past perfect. In the example, we can see that Polly reached school after. Before the later action. What is the later action? The exam begin. So the later action in this case is the exam begin. The earlier action is Polly reach. According to the formula, the earlier action means the last. In the formula, the earlier action becomes past indefinite. The answers will be Polly reached, past indefinite, Polly reached, after the exam had begun, past perfect. Moving on to the rule number 18. No sooner, scarcely, hardly, two clause pattern. When, no sooner than, scarcely when, or hardly before connect two clauses, the first clause takes past perfect and the second clause takes past indefinite. It is actually an advanced rule for class 6 to 8. Moving on to the rule number 18. No sooner, scarcely, hardly, two clause pattern. When no sooner than, scarcely when, or hardly before connect two clauses, the first clause takes past perfect and the second clause takes past indefinite. This rule involves inverted sentences, structure which may be unfamiliar to class 6 to 8. Focus on the formula and examples. Rule number 18. In this case of scenario, these are special expressions used to say as soon as something happens, something else happens immediately. They come in pairs. No sooner than, scarcely when, hardly before. The first part past perfect, the second part past indefinite. The formula in this case is, actually there are three formulas for three different uses. No sooner had, the first formula, no sooner had plus subject plus V3 past participle form plus then plus subject plus V2. The second formula is for the scarcely had. In this case, scarcely had plus subject plus V3 plus when plus subject plus V2 past form. The third formula and the last formula hardly had subject V3 before plus subject plus V2. Now moving on to the examples. No sooner had, again, no sooner had the thief see the police than he ran away. Please pause the video. If you know the answer, write down in the comment section and match with mine. Again, no sooner had the thief see the police than he ran away. According to the formula, no sooner had, subject the thief, V3, see will become in past participle form, which is seen, the police, then, he ran away, he, when plus, then plus subject plus V2. The word run will become ran. So the answer is seen and ran. The second example, scarcely had I, go out when he come. According to the formula, scarcely had, subject I, V3, go, went, gone, out, when he, V2, came. The answer is gone and came. The third and the last example, hardly we reach the station before the train leave. Hardly we, subject hardly had or hardly we can add the had. Hardly had we, subject we, V3, had reached the station before the train left. Had we reached the train left. Moving on to the rule number 19, future indefinite, future time signal words. When a sentence contains future time expression such as tomorrow, following day, next week, next month, next year, the verb takes future indefinite form. Will, shall base verb. Rule number 19 is a simple and very student-friendly rule. If the sentence mentions a future time, tomorrow, next week, next month, etc., the verb should be in future indefinite tense. Use will or shall plus the base form of the verb. Now, the formula in this case is future signal word will, shall, V1, base form of the verb. Now, examples are, my cousin arrived tomorrow. Tomorrow is the signal word, just circle it around. Next week is the signal word, again circle it around. Now, we got our signal words. The answer will be for the first examples, my cousin will arrive, will arrive. The second one is he will go. Now, moving on to our last rule of right form of verbs. Our final rule for today. This one. Now, in rule number 20, adjective of quality plus article, plural noun, plural verb. When an adjective of quality is preceded by the article the, it refers to a class of people, becomes a plural noun. The verb that follows must be in plural. Now, our final rule for right form verbs, when you put the in front of an adjective like the rich, the poor, the honest, the brave, the words I just said, rich, poor, honest, are actually adjective. But when I use them and use the before them, it no longer describes one person. It describes a whole group of people. And because it is a group, a plural. Yes, The rich, the word the rich, it becomes a plural. The verb must be plural too. Now formula for this case, the adjective becomes group of people, the verb will remain plural. The examples, the rich be not happy all the time. The answer will be are. The second one, the poor be born to suffer. The answer will be are. The third one, the honest always win, without a S. Now, excellent work making it this far. Excellent work making it this far. Here is your summary table for rule 11 to 20. Take a screenshot of this. It is perfect for last minute exam revision. And that is it. All 20 rules of right form verbs completed. You now have everything you need to solve any right form verbs question in your class 6, 7 or 8 exam. Here is a challenge for today. Solve the sentence in comment box. No sooner had entered the room than the lights go out. What are the two answers? First person to comment correctly wins today's grammar champion title. In our next video, we are moving on to subject verb agreement, which is closely connected to everything you just learned. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you do not miss it. If these videos are helping you, share them with your classmates. Let us all get better in English together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next class.